Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm Shanae Chapman. I'm the founder, CEO of Nerdy Diva. And today we're going to talk about product research and design and AI tools. I'm going to give it a few minutes, allow people to get into the room, into the conversation with us. But I'm really excited to talk to you all. This has been something that's been on my mind as I'm continuing to learn about AI tools and how to create better websites and apps. And as a designer and researcher, how to use these tools in ethical and responsible ways as well. So happy that you're here, and definitely give us a shout out in the comments. Let us know where you're calling from as well. Hi, Whitney. Thanks for joining today. Where are you calling from? I'm here in St. Louis today. St. Louis is my hometown, so I split time between St. Louis and Boston. I went to grad school in Boston and lived there after grad school and worked in technology at different companies in Cambridge and in Boston, and started my career out there. All right, Delaware. Yeah, somewhere East Coast over here. Some tough winters on the East Coast, definitely. So definitely have survived some of those big snowstorms and nor'easters out there as well. Kansas City, yes. Hello, Lisa. Yes. We are neighbors. We're not too far from each other. I'm in St. Louis. Kansas City is just a few hours away. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's great to take the train as well if you have the time and the energy to travel by train. Is much more relaxing in some ways than flying all the time. So I look for ways to take the train when I have like business trips or leisure trips. And the trip from St. Louis to Kansas City is a nice scenic route as well. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. We'll start getting into our topics today. So today we're talking about how do we create websites and apps? What are ways to use research and design to create more effective websites and apps? And how we can use AI tools as well. Um, yeah, someone else is calling from St. Louis. Hello. Yeah. So we are definitely in this time period where AI is the big thing that everyone keeps talking about. And I know if you're like me and you're trying to figure out like how do I use AI in my daily practice? How do I use AI for the work that I have to do on a day-to-day basis? And for people who are working with building websites and apps, there may be some questions as to like how does this really impact what I do and what can I learn from that? So want to share some things with you that I have found to be helpful, and definitely want to hear from you all as well. If there's things that you've done that you've seen with research and design and using that with AI and creating better experiences, definitely want to hear that. This is definitely a sharing conversation. I'll share, and you all definitely can share as well. Hello, Andre from Toronto. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us today. Right. So some of the tools that I'm seeing come up with data analytics definitely can be like the first point of entry to understand what to build next with your websites and your apps. Because sometimes we get overwhelmed with so much possibilities. Like we could design like new about pages, we could design new checkout pages, we could design all kinds of things. So there's only so much time in a day. There's only so many resources, and there's a cost to everything. There's a cost for those developers, for designers, for all of it. So thinking about like, how do we prioritize? How do we figure out what's the right next thing to do next? And that's where the data analytics can be a big help because you can use that data to identify patterns and use that data to identify trends and see how people are getting to your website, how are people using your app today, what are ways that people are finding your information, and what do they connect with? Like, what do they frequently click on in your website, in your application, if it's a web-based application? And where do people drop off? Where do people struggle, especially if you're selling something online? If you have a checkout process that's hard to use, having some data on that funnel, like step by step, like where are people falling off in the funnel? And that can help you think about ways to get them the information that they need and make the process simpler and easier for them to navigate and to complete their transactions. Or if it's signing up for your event, help them sign up for your event. Whatever your call to action is, helping them complete that. So that's really how the data analytics can help you understand how are people getting to point A, from point A to point B. How are they doing that today? Where do they struggle? And where are there ways that you can improve and make it easier and simpler for them to get things done? So some tools that I like to use are Google Analytics. So you can connect Google Analytics to your websites and your web-based applications. And it provides a lot of data for you on like how many people come to your website on a daily session or a month over month session. And you can see if there's peaks, like, are there peaks during like Black Friday, or are there peaks during different times of the year? And that can help you prioritize your marketing and your advertising that's done online and via email as well. So if you're seeing more traffic at different times of the year, that may be a good place for you to increase your branding for particular milestones and events and share that on your website and on your app as well, so that people can find that information and have an easy way to get to it and complete the task that they intend to do on your site. Some other tools I like to use in addition to Google Analytics is ChatGPT. So I'm sure a lot of you are hearing a lot about ChatGPT. I like to use it for some preliminary research. So I can research competitors, like I research competitors of my business, like who are different agencies that provide training services and research and design services, to have a better sense of how my business can stay competitive with other similar organizations as well. So that can help you also think about, how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? Like, what is it that they are showing on their websites, and what's their selling pitch and their value proposition, and how can you set yourself apart? So that awareness is the first step, knowing who your competitors are, and then following their trends. So you can ask ChatGPT, you can put in prompts and ask for competitors of your target industry. So if you're in a design field, or if you're in a software engineering field, or you're a business owner, you can ask ChatGPT, what are the top 5 competitors for my industry? And that can give you some initial data. So yeah, Shelby has a question. Do you have specific prompts you use in like with ChatGPT? Yeah, definitely. So prompt that I use is generate 5 competitors for this product, and I'll put the product in. So for example, you could do like Apple Music, generate 5 competitors for Apple Music, and that'll give you some data on some initial competitors. Generate the top trends for digital marketing, and it'll give you some information about that particular topic. And Andre is saying, yeah, he uses GPT to formulate sticky notes and key insights. Yeah, definitely can use that as a first pass to having some information when doing research. And it's definitely something where you got to still check the research, still got to check the AI tools and check that ChatGPT is giving you accurate data, because, you know, as many people know, the data set is not always 100% accurate, the data only goes back to 2021, so very limited in the data that's in the tool, but it can be a very good first pass for getting some initial information and going off and doing additional research for your design work as well. Very good. Yeah, some other prompts that I like to do around research or around creating surveys and interview questions. And that's something like it comes up a lot of times, especially if you're working on products that are public facing and that are well known, they're out in the public and don't have confidential data. Because remember, like, these tools still are evolving. You don't want to put any sensitive or confidential data into the AI tools. They will not protect your data. So know that in advance. Only public facing data should go into these tools. And some of the prompts that I use are write 5 survey questions for users of a product. So like if my product was Tableau, for example, data analytics tool from Salesforce, write 5 survey questions for users of Tableau or users of Salesforce. And then it will generate 5 survey questions. So definitely could use that in a survey that you create and get some baseline information about what works well and what needs to be improved and what people expect to see in the product that they don't see today. And getting some of that information can be helpful, but remember that you have to go out and still present those questions, those survey questions and those interview questions to real humans who are going to use the product and who are going to have the lived experience. So like the idea of using the AI tools in conjunction with having the human-centered research and doing the human-centered design. So we're keeping our principles of making design human-centered, but using the AI tools for some of the more like administrative work, some of the initial work where we are building out our templates and building out the tools that we need to gather that data. Yes, and Andre is saying it's a good tool to use when creating maze user testing as well. Yeah, so if you're doing usability testing, using a tool like Maze or Dovetail or user testing, you definitely can use those tools and have a way to come up with some initial tasks and scenarios that help you identify where do people struggle in your website and app today, and how can they find what they need in a more intuitive process. I have tried asking ChatGPT to create task scenarios for usability testing, and sometimes it struggles with that. I think it's still learning like what that process is, and I'm sure it's going to get better as it continues to evolve. But you can use it as a starting point, asking it like what are common journeys that users of Salesforce go through? What are common experiences that users of Tableau go through? And you can get some initial journeys to consider using for usability testing as well. But it's a starting point. It doesn't do all the work for you, but it's a good way to get some initial thoughts and get some initial information. And so you're not starting from scratch, because that can make things more time intensive as well. Andre has a question. Have you tried using it to create user stories? I have not tried using it to create user stories. That is something that is on my list. And I think, again, if it's something where you're working on a product that is public facing and does not have any sensitive data, you can definitely try using ChatGPT for creating user stories. You'll have to go back in and review what it has and probably make some edits and some changes, but you could definitely use it as a starting point and have a prompt that says generate a user story for someone who is struggling to get started with using Salesforce and needs to create a dashboard to see sales revenue for the past 3 months. How do you create that user story? So that's something that you can try using ChatGPT for that, but definitely like stay away from like some of the more beta or new products that your teams are working on. But something you can do is use a public facing product in ChatGPT and ask it about creating user stories. And you can use what they output to help you in framing your user story for a new product as well. So kind of using the workflows and using the data that's put in and using it in a different situation. So yeah. Shelby has a comment that Google Analytics feels really confusing. It can be. It's a lot. Yeah. Are there any tips for setting it up and where to start? Yeah. Yeah, Google Analytics has a lot of different ways to track data, and it can definitely feel like a lot. It can definitely feel overwhelming. So something I would recommend you doing is taking a look at the documentation for getting started, and they have some quick step-by-step tips on what to set up, and that can help you with that initial dashboard. So getting your website set up. So I have a Squarespace website that's connected to Google Analytics. So again, the steps for how do I connect Google Analytics to Squarespace has been a starting point for me for one of my websites. I have a second website that is built on WordPress. And so a whole different process of getting this set up. So looking up how do you connect to your particular website is a starting point for getting that data to integrate between those two tools. And it's really cool to see like where your audience is coming from. So like I have a lot of audience in the US, which makes a lot of sense because I'm based in the US, but also seeing that there's audiences from the UK and from Germany and from other parts of the world. So it can be really helpful to see like, oh, okay, like the reach that you have and your engagement, and think about ways that you can promote some of your resources and your content to some of those other audiences that you may not have thought of considering in your branding and your marketing campaigns as well. Yeah, and Andre's saying it's a good idea to keep things generic and then add more later. Definitely, definitely. That's really something that I've been learning along the way as well, that just take it one day at a time. So learn one new way to use these AI tools a week and apply that, and see how that works, and if that's something that's helpful for you in your process, and also see like, oh, okay, maybe that didn't give me exactly what I needed, and maybe I can do some more research and find some other tools that could help me in my journey as well. So yeah, definitely consider that. Yeah, definitely posting at different times can be helpful. Yeah. Yeah. And we have Michael from Amsterdam as well joining us. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, we're global. We're out here. Yes, yes. Okay, and Shelby is asking, block do you time block diving into data? Is that like weekly or quarterly? Very good question. So I think that it really helps to set a time block, at least for an hour to a week, to do some research to understand like what's working, what isn't working, what needs to be improved. And once you have your system set up, like Google Analytics, it can make that process a lot easier. Once you have your list of questions, like your survey questions, your interview questions, which you can generate in ChatGPT and edit as needed, then you can go out and create those surveys using Google Forms, Typeform, Qualtrics. Great ways to collect some data. I really like Qualtrics because you also get some great reports. You can create charts and you can create graphs and really see the data visualization of that information. And like for me, I'm a visual learner. Like I need to see it. I need to see like some images. I need to see some graphics. I need to see something for it to really connect to me. And a lot of people have that in common as well. Like they want you to show them the data in a meaningful way. And when you have tools that can create reports, Google Forms also has some reporting capabilities as well. Once you create those surveys, you can get some reports out of that. That can be helpful to help you identify, okay, what's working, where do we need to do better to make sure that people have what they need and that our websites and our apps don't frustrate people and it's not a struggle to use and it's not complicated and we don't have people contacting support like what happened. I thought I was completing this setup process and it just kicked me out. What happened? So alleviating that pain really important, and one of the ways we alleviate that pain and frustration that people have with using websites and apps is doing that research and taking that time, at least a few hours a week, taking some time to go back and look at your analytics data, taking some time to create those surveys, taking some time to set up interviews and usability testing, like the maze testing that Andre mentioned. Setting up that time to have those sessions where you're talking to real humans and getting that data. And that can definitely be a way where you're like, okay, what you are putting out into the world, understanding if it's resonating, if it's connecting, or if it's really missing the mark and you got some work to do. So yes, I definitely would recommend blocking out some time on a weekly basis. If that's something where you think, oh, I don't have time to block it out on a weekly basis, then another alternative would be moving it to quarterly. And this is a way that I have practiced with teams in corporate and startup environments, that we would set out quarterly objectives for conducting research, doing surveys, interviews, usability testing as a way to get that data at least on a quarterly basis. So we have an idea of, is this working? Are we doing the right things here? Or do we need to pivot and make some changes? Good question. Thank you. Okay, do you all have any questions or do you have anything that you want to share about tools that you're using? I also use ChatGPT for creating keywords for search engine optimization. So I'll use a prompt like, what are the top keywords for the aerospace industry? If that's what my product falls under, or what are the top keywords for the SaaS industry, the software as a service, if that's what my product falls under. What are the top keywords for a specific company? What are the top keywords for Microsoft, for example? And that can be a way to get some initial information. And bonus point, if you know your competitors, you can find out what are the top keywords for your competitors and see like, oh, okay, does this apply for my business as well? Are these things that I could use because we're in the same industry? Are these also keywords that I can use in my search engine optimization as well? Right. Andre says FigJam has some AI capabilities now. Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool to see. Andre, can you share a little bit more about how you're using FigJam's AI capabilities? Because I've been seeing that, and I think that it has some of those abilities to help you with writing prompts and help you generate some of the designs. Looks really cool. So Andre's using it to organize notes and create summaries. Yeah, very cool. So if you haven't tried that out, definitely look into using FigJam's AI tools. Definitely another good way to help you make life a little easier, reduce some time, reduce some stress, and building out affinity maps. Yeah, yeah, very good. And I think it's just really interesting to see what the AI tools create and then to, in a way, grade the AI. Like if you are the teacher and you are grading the AI, like where did the AI get it right and where did it get it dead wrong? So being able to critically analyze the information that comes in and share that out to your stakeholders, share that out to product and engineering. Say like, hey, this is what we use some of these AI tools, and this is what we found to be true, and this is what we found to not be true, and this is the additional information that we have. And you can use your qualitative data, like your interviews and your usability testing, to back up your perspective and your position and say, hey, we went to the AI tools and found out this information, but we also did this human-centered research, which either confirms what the AI has said or gives us a different perspective, some new ideas to consider. Yes, Notion and Grammarly, definitely. Yeah. As someone who loves words and loves reading and writing, Grammarly is fun to use as well. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the AI tools can help with writing and formulating content. Yeah. And Andre brings up a really good point that you can use the AI tools to help with creating some of your content, some of your copywriting for marketing campaigns or for website or app campaigns where you have promotions or where you are adding in information that describes your business or your about page or your services. You can literally take some of the content that you have on your current website or app, copy it, and put in a prompt in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to revise the content below, and it will give you a new version of the content that you put in. And then you can go back in and say, oh, make it more conversational, or make it more formal, or make it shorter. So you have different options to help specify how you want the content to be created in ChatGPT as well. It's really cool. Shelby says that, yeah, LinkedIn has some AI tools as well, Rewrite with AI. And it also has in the LinkedIn Learning where you can use the AI tools for finding out about like different topics that you want to learn about. So if you want to learn about data analytics, or if you want to learn about user experience design, you can add that to the AI tool in LinkedIn Learning, and it will give you back some different information and show you different courses that are in the catalog that would help you, and it will recommend different categories as well that are similar to the ones that you put into the AI tool as well. So if you're looking at like user experience design, it may also recommend some user experience research courses as well. So definitely look into the LinkedIn Learning AI tools as well. And you'll find my course there that was launched last week, the Data-Driven Product Research and Design course. So definitely check that out. Yes, yes. Oh yeah, definitely you can use AI for resume writing, cover letters, absolutely. So I like to take some of the information from the job description and I'll write a prompt into ChatGPT and say, generate a professional summary using the job description below, and then paste the job description. So it will output a professional summary based on that prompt. You do have to still go back in and edit and make sure that it sounds like a human, then it sounds like your voice. And then also, you know, crafting it to your specific accomplishments, because it's just using general information. You can use the tool as a starting point, but then add in things that are specific to you and then make you stand out as a candidate. So yes, definitely use ChatGPT for cover letters, for professional summaries, for resumes. Definitely have some good usage there as well. Case studies, yeah. Yeah, so it could definitely be a good starting point for case study information. That's where I also will want to do some definitely secondary research as well. So I want to make sure that we're not seeing AI hallucinations. And that's when AI creates content that is gathering from across the internet, but it may not be accurate. So sometimes folks have gone into some serious trouble with things like case studies and using AI for research because some of the data just isn't accurate. So just make sure you do your secondary research and follow up so that you can have that. So you're not in any situation where anyone can say like, oh yeah, that's not actually true. So definitely doing your homework in that sense. Yes, yes. Well, glad to see that you all are using AI tools and using them in creative ways with FigJam and for creating cover letters. Definitely some good ways to get started with research with AI tools as well, do some competitive analysis, and also looking at analytics, using analytics as a way to help you prioritize what to do next, what design, what research, how to prioritize, and how to make easier to use and more fun and delightful websites and apps, and keep people coming back to your content, keep people interested and engaged as well. Yeah. Are there any other questions or comments? We're getting close on time, but definitely want to give you all some time to share what you've been using. If you want to share anything with us, or if you have any questions for me, definitely here for that too. Yeah, and if you are developing a website and you need some code for the website, you can also use ChatGPT for that as well. You can do a prompt like generate code for creating navigation for a website. And you can specify what languages you want the code to be in as well. So I've tried this before in ChatGPT. Generate code for creating a drop down navigation menu with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it'll give you code right there in ChatGPT. And you can use that. You can go in, you can edit, you can, create the different colors that you want. And you can customize it, but how cool to give you a starting point so you don't have to do that from scratch. Really helpful. Yeah, and if you're able to try ChatGPT 4, there is a trial for it that's free. You can try that out. Or you can use the Chrome extension Merlin, Merlin, and that will give you access to ChatGPT 4 as well. So that has a larger language model, so you're going to get more unique responses to anything that you put into the AI tool with that version. So it's drastically different from ChatGPT 3.5. The 4.0 version definitely has more information. So definitely check that out. You can also use images with that one as well. So you can input images, add images, and generate prompts and ask it to customize those images or ask it to modify or edit, which is really cool. And I know a lot of designers, we spend a lot of time editing and making sure that designs are as they should be. And that can take some of the time away from your process. If it's something that's public facing and you just need to make some quick changes, definitely you can use that those AI tools as a way to reduce some of your time on some of those like very detail-oriented tasks. Canva has a lot of design capabilities. You also can use the AI tools in Canva now. They have some tools in their Magic Studio that you can use, and they connect with Runway AI as well. So you can use like some motion graphics and get some nice graphics going on, and use a prompt that tells the AI to like generate waves in the background, and you'll get these nice like graphics with some of the motion of the waves going as well. So a lot of cool AI integrations with Canva, Magic Studio, and Runway. as well. So definitely check that out. Yeah, well, it's been great talking with you all. And yeah, super excited to see what else you come up with using research and design and AI in meaningful ways. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more coming in these areas. And, some people are afraid of change and new things, but I think this is going to be a really cool way for us to evolve as designers and researchers in unique in creative ways. You do have to be conscious of copyright and licensing. So definitely don't use the AI tools today with any data that is not public facing. So definitely remember that. Remember your guardrails with sensitive, confidential data. But yeah, definitely encourage you all to explore and experiment, and know that it's important to still, use your human-centered design principles and think critically when using these tools. They do have biases, they do have inaccuracies, but that's why it's so important to still have that human perspective, to have US designers and researchers critiquing the AI tools and creating better ways to use these tools responsibly and ethically. So a lot of cool things are happening. I'm seeing job postings for UX AI designers, UX AI researchers. So I think our industry is definitely moving toward using AI more and more in a meaningful way. And it's going to be on designers and researchers to help make sure that we are looking out for everyday people and making sure that these AI tools are not harming people and not, putting out false information and inaccurate information and keeping people's data safe. So it's going to be really important to continue learning and growing in this field and combining that with your creative design skills and your critical thinking research skills. So a lot of cool things happening. So yeah, so definitely stay tuned and follow me. I'll have updates for you all. And yeah, if you don't have any other questions, I think we'll be wrapping up soon. So we'll give it a few minutes and see if anyone has any questions or comments. And then we will keep going on about our day today. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shelby. Yes, yes. Well, I think that's all we have today. There's nothing else on the tip of your mind that you want to discuss. Yes, happy to share the information. When am I on again? I am on live again in February. I think it's the 18th. I'm going to check my calendar. Trying to do these once a month now just to get, some regular cadence of sharing information and getting the word out. I'm actually working on my second LinkedIn course, which is a course that covers user experience and AI. So I'm super excited. I'm starting to write that course content now. And so I'll have some updates for you all in February as well about what the content is like and how we are going to shake up this AI industry and make sure we're doing it the right way. Yes, yes. Let's see. Our next time is February 22nd. So follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram, in our newsletter for updates. Follow Nerdy Diva, and you can follow me, Shanae Chapman, and you'll get those updates. And yeah, we'll be back. All right. Well, thank you all. Have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.